International Federation of Women Lawyers has called on federal government, private sectors, and the general public to ensure effective participation of women in the implementation of laws and policy formulation in the country. The chairperson, FIDA Nigeria Adejo-Andrew, made the call while addressing journalists at the commemoration of the International Women's Day 2021 on Monday in Abuja. She said, FIDA Nigeria celebrates all women in leadership positions at the local, national, and international levels and encourages women to be steadfast and resilient in dealing with challenges they face.
The campaign theme of the International Women's Day 2021 is Choose to Challenge. This invariably means that women are responsible for their own thoughts and actions every day, and thereby challenging the world they live in every day. The theme further signifies that women can choose to challenge gender bias and inequality in the world. People need to celebrate women's achievements and also make the world a better place to live in with equality. Since the year 1908, when 15,000 women took to the streets of New York to protest against work exploitations and demanding for shorter hours, better pay, and voting rights, it became a move which necessitated changes around the world. This also invariably affected the call for women's rights in Nigeria, and to mention a few, the 1929 Aba Women's Riots, which saw over 10,000 women on the streets of Calabar and Owerri, protesting against the policies imposed by the British colonial administration, which prompted colonial authorities to drop their plans to impose a tax on the market women and to curb the power of the warrant chiefs. This year's campaign theme is very peculiar because it sums up the entirety of what International Women's Day stands for: choose to challenge. In the expression of the international community, a challenged world is an alert world, and from challenges come change, so let's all choose to challenge. Article 21 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights embraces the right of every person to take part in leadership of his or her country. As such, FIDA has always promoted the equal access of men and women to power, decision-making, and leadership at all levels as being a necessary precondition for the proper functioning of any democracy such as ours. This year's theme is also in consonance with the priority theme for the 65th session of the Commission on the Status of Women, and the empowerment of women must be priorities for all if gender equality will be achieved. Accordingly, FIDA Nigeria calls on government at all levels, agencies, policymakers, legislators, and corporate organizations to incorporate the diversity of women and girls in policy formulation, implementation of laws, and all response and recovery programs of COVID-19 and post-pandemic. FIDA Nigeria celebrates all women in leadership positions at the local, national, and international levels, and encourages them to be steadfast and resilient in dealing with the challenges they face. We are still demanding for equal rights, equal pay, and an end to all forms of discrimination, violence, and an end to exploitation. We will not rest on our oars, as we know that we have a lot to achieve because the progress made so far is not equal. We must remember that as long as one woman faces discrimination, prejudice, harassment, sexual assault, offensive and inhuman cultural practices, inequality, or oppression, we all do as women. FIDA Nigeria continues to work to support credible, hardworking, meritorious women to break the glass ceiling in their respective spheres of operations. We implore everyone to rise up to their challenges on behalf of all Nigerian women as we celebrate this remarkable day in history. We therefore enjoin all women and men of goodwill to raise their hands high to show and choose to challenge inequality. Happy International Women's Day. We choose to challenge.
The association therefore demands for equal rights, equal pay, and end to all forms of discriminations, violence, and an end to exploitation, adding that they will not rest on their oars as they have a lot to achieve because the progress made so far is not equal. Ikpe Fan Loretta, News Africa.